Another fighter from yesteryear that I think was very underrated was a fight called Dmitry Pirog. The first time I saw Pirog was when he fought Danny Jacobs. I think he was on the undercard of a Mayweather fight, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it wasn't a Mayweather fight. I think Marquez was fighting Juan Diaz for the second time. And I saw him on the undercard of that fight, and I was absolutely blown away with his talent. When I first saw him, like he had a mix. He had like a conventional Russian style, but he had a low left hand, but he would use the shoulder roll, and he would also do like technical things like a shift. I think that's how he knocked out Danny Jacobs in their fight. And when I saw that, I was like, this guy, man, he seems like he's got the poise of like a very like he's almost got a Western and Eastern style combination mixed in together. And when I saw that, I was absolutely blown away by his talent. And I think Dmitry Pirog would have been an absolute handful for many of the fighters that he could have competed with in that era. I mean, imagine Dmitry Pirog versus for example Canelo, or Dmitry Pirog versus Sergio Martinez, or Dmitry Pirog versus Golovkin. I mean, them fights could have been absolutely phenomenal. The way he absolutely dominated Danny Jacobs, and I know Danny Jacobs wasn't at his absolute peak then. Like he was still developing as a fighter, and he did knock him out. And obviously he was going through a lot of personal issues with his grandma at the time. This was before the cancer thing happened, by the way. But still, like when I saw him perform that way against with Danny Jacob, who at that time was like a hotshot amateur. Like everyone was looking at Danny Jacob like he was going to be the next big thing. And to be fair, he did fulfill his potential after he came back from the cancer thing. But truth be told, I think obviously, for those that don't know what happened with Pirog, I think he had a back injury and he had to retire. But I was just thinking, like, imagine Pirog in there against the likes of like a Golovkin, a Canelo, for example. If he would have fought Sergio Martinez, Cotto, there could have been a lot of good fights that he could have made. I mean, he could have rematched Danny Jacobs. Obviously, he completely destroyed him in their first fight, but still, man, Danny Jacobs went on to do great things in his career after that fight. So I think in some sense, man, it's a waste of talent. It might be the biggest waste of talent I've ever seen. Obviously, it's not his fault. He's got a back injury, but this was a guy that had a very extensive amateur career. I think he was part of the Russian national team. He had a very elusive, like Mayweather-esque style. He used to use a shoulder roll, and I was absolutely blown away by his talent. I was like, this guy was going to go on to do great things, but obviously it never happened. But I think it's fun to speculate what could have happened if he kept on going with his career. I mean, if he never had the like, for example, the back injury or whatever happened to him, like if that never happened to him, like imagine the fun matchups we could have had with him against Sergio Martinez, Golovkin, Danny Jacobs, Canelo, like all of these great fights that could have happened but never did happen because obviously because of his back injury. But I think it's just fun to speculate like what could have actually happened. I mean, Danny Jacobs went on from that point and went on to do great things with his career, but obviously it was just never meant to be. With certain fighters, sometimes they don't fulfill their potential because of their own actions, and a lot of times they don't fulfill their potential because of things outside of the ring that they have no control over. And I think that's an example of Dmitry Pirog. But I think he did show a glimpse of his potential when he beat Danny Jacobs in that fight. I think he retired undefeated as well, so at least he never lost in the ring. So yeah, that's my opinions. Tell me your opinion. How do you think Dmitry Pirog would have done against Golovkin, Canelo, rematch against Danny Jacobs, Kelly Pavlik, Cotto, all of these great fighters that he could have fought? Like, how do you think he would have done against them? And do you think he could have beaten the likes of a Golovkin or these great fighters, or do you think he would have got destroyed? Tell me your thoughts below, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.